Aum Sairam, by the abundant grace of our Samartha Sadguru Shri Sai Maharaj and the immense blessings of Pujyashri Narasimha Swamiji, a satsang was organized merely to brief the biography of Swamiji to the young kids, invocated the grace of great Lord Shri Sai Baba and Swamiji to narrate the personal life and spiritual journey of Swamiji in a manner and extent understandable, agreeable, and memorable for the young hearts. We began the satsang by chanting Om thrice, followed by a quick intro about the birth, parents, and childhood of Swamiji. The intro goes thus. Narasimha was born on August 21st, 1874 to Venkatagiri Iyer and Angachi Ammal at Bhavani in the Erode district of Tamil Nadu. At the moment of his birth, the woman was walking towards their backyard in the spacious compound of her house, and the baby boy took his birth without warning or even before somebody could be called for assisting her. This child was later to be known as Sri Narasimha Swamiji. He was born in a very rich and pious family. The child was welcomed as a gift from God. He was weighed in gold and silver, which were then offered to Lord Narasimha of Sholangar. From his childhood, Narasimha was very joyful. He was very imaginative, clever, and also mischievous. His mother pampered him, yet he did not get spoiled. All loved him, and his playfulness and mischief endeared him to everyone. He was always full of vigor and looked rather too mature for his age. Sri Narasimha Bharati Swamiji, Jagadguru Shankaracharya of Sringeri, and Sorakai Swamiji, who lived near Kalahasti, are the two great sages who deeply impressed young Narasimha. Narasimha's mother was very kind to everyone. She used to serve the neighbors in times of need. On one occasion, when a neighbor was not keeping well, she went to cook for them after having finished her own cooking at home. Narasimha Swamiji observed the behavior of his mom and said, "Mom, you are being very selfish. Why didn't you cook for them first and then do our cooking?" His mother said, "If I cooked their food first, it would get cold by the time they eat it." This answer went straight into Narasimha's heart. Also, the large-hearted Angachi Ammal was like an effective guru to her own son. Angachi Ammal directed Narasimha to water the tulsi plant and feed a cow every day before taking food. Narasimha wanted everything to be reasoned out to him. When he asked his mom to give out the reason for this, she said, "It's not proper to take food before offering it to others." Also, Angachi Ammal used to give alms to beggars whenever they approached her. One day, seeing her give alms to a well-built beggar, Narasimha protested. He said that his mom was being very kind to a man who did not deserve it. And his mom replied, "Narasimha, who are we to judge who is worthy and who is unworthy? All who come to us for help are God in human forms. So we must provide whatever help is within our means." She was also very considerate towards everyone, even to the so-called untouchables. Whatever produce they got from their farm, after keeping something for the family, the rest she would just distribute to all the people who were working in her house or serving in her home, and she distributed everything to the friends, relatives, so she did not keep much even for their own needs. She always told Narasimha that he who gives is a god, but he who withholds is a devil. Angachi Ammal gave birth to another son. The younger son was named Lakshmana. When the second son was just 3 years old, some miscreants kidnapped him because he was wearing a lot of jewelry. They wanted to kidnap him to rob his ornaments, but they did not let the child with life. They killed the child, and the younger son's death deeply affected the parents. 1 year prior to Lakshmana's death, that is in 1879, the parents were in for another shock. That is, the whole family, along with farmers and other workmen, had assembled on the banks of river Bhavani for a special puja on a Sankranti day. You all know what is Sankranti day, right? That is the Pongal festival. The 5-year-old Narasimha was playing. Narasimha, while playing, he slipped and fell into the river. And fortunately, a farmer noticed this and he lifted the child from the river so he didn't get drowned. So the family was very upset because they already lost one child, isn't it? So they did not want to lose Narasimha. So they called the family astrologer and asked, like, what should we do about this? We want this child to live long. So the family astrologer said he had one danger from water and now that's done. So he is going to live long. He is going to live for 80 years, so you don't have to worry about his life. But the thing is, he might turn to be an ascetic. That is, he might become a sannyasi in the future. That was not something which the parents expected, right? Because they wanted their son to lead a family life. So then, the parents were very young at that time. The mom was just 35 years or so. But they thought that their son should lead a family life. For that, they were ready to give up their family life. They started to live an ascetic life, the parents of Narasimha. So Narasimha, as I told you, he was very smart at school, He was very enthusiastic to learn new things, and he could not, he could not just sit in a place. He doesn't like being dull. He was always active, and his family always had pujas, bhajans, kirtans. If any saint would visit that village, his parents would be the first people to invite them. So he was very much used to have satsangs and kirtans and bhajans and all that at home. So now Narasimha, he finished his schooling at Salem, and then he came to Chennai to study his law. So he became a very great lawyer. He was very proficient and people could never win any case against him. At the same time, whenever the farmers had any dispute, they were very poor, so he would solve their cases without taking any money. So at home, he used to hold a panchayat, and through that panchayat, he used to solve the disputes of the villagers. So this is how the family was going on. And now, Narasimha was very smart, I told you, right? He has learned many languages. He has learned Roman language, he has learned even Latin and Greek. In fact, he was the examiner in Madras University for these languages. He was very good at all that. And he wanted to get into politics. So he got into politics. There was a political extremist called as Bālaḥas. So Narasimha Swamiji was very much inspired by Bālaḥas, and so he joined the Indian National Congress. So he served politically, he served socially, and he was also, going to the cooperative banks in Salem, and he used to serve there. He was very active in his profession, his political life, and in his social life. Then he got married. So his family also grew. He got children. So he got a child, he got a son. When the son was around 14 or 15 years old, the child got typhoid and the child died. Then he got a couple of more daughters and another son. Around in the early 19s, India was struck by the cholera epidemic. So the Salem was the place where he was living, right? Even that place was hit by this epidemic, and his mom became the first victim of that. So his mom died. So within few months after his mom's death, his father also died. He could not take this loss, he could not take the loss of losing both the parents in a very short span of time. But still he continued to serve the nation, he continued to do his profession, and he was also politically very active. But no matter how busy he is, he would never miss any of the pujas.
Every day he does that Sandhya 3 times. He would do all the Vishnu Sahasranamam, Lalita Sahasranamam. He learned many Vedic scriptures. He would do all that irrespective of how busy he was in his life. Now, I told you his parents died, right? After the death of his mom, exactly after 1 year, we usually have some puja for the departed soul, right? So that's called as Shraddha. So they were arranging for that, and the priests were invited. The priest did all the puja, and Narasimha Swamiji wanted to serve food to the priest. Just then, one of his servants came and murmured something to his ears. So Narasimha Swamiji said, "It's okay, let's deal with that later." And then he continued to serve food to the priest. After the priests were done eating, that's when Narasimha Swamiji went to the backyard to see what has happened. What happened was, one of his daughter who was 13 years old and one of his son who was 15 years old, they were playing in the backyard, and because they had large farmlands, they dug a big well which was under construction. These two kids fell into the well, drowned and died. Both the kids died on the spot. So this was the news which was brought to him by the servant. But still, Narasimha Swamiji, he finished all the rituals that he has to do for his mom. But this is a very big shock for the father, right? To lose both the kids just like that. So he could not come out of that grief. So slowly he was resigning himself from the political life, social life, and from his profession. That's when his wife died, because his wife could not take the shock of losing both the kids. Now, they had a big bungalow, right? I said they were very rich. They had lot of farmlands. They had everything. But what he didn't have? He didn't have his beloved children. Already he got 2 of his kids married. But he could not bear the loss of his 3 kids, his parents, and his wife now, right? So he could not live in that house anymore. He never thought that God is doing everything. Kanna, can you come and sit over here? Yeah. See. He thought God has some plans for him. That's why all this is happening. He was not going against God, because usually that's what people do, right? When things doesn't go the way you wanted, you immediately start putting the blame on the God or the Guru. But he said, no, God has some plans for me. I have to unveil those plans. So he left house. He left his bungalow, he left all his property, and that's when Shri Sorakai Swamiji was their family guru. He thought of going to him to take sannyas. But by then, Sorakai Swamiji has already attained Mahasamadhi. So he could not go there. Then he went to Shri Chandrasekhara Bharati Mahaswamigal at Sringeri. He is the Shankaracharya of Sringeri. So these great Mahans used to visit his home, you know. So he went there, and they were all shocked because he had 2 cars, he had drivers. Always when he visits the ashram, he comes in the car, right? But this is the first time they are seeing him with, you know, old clothes and just 1 bag, nothing with him, and he is coming by foot. Imagine, from Salem to Sringeri, which is in the state of Karnataka. He walked all the distance. So when he went over there and told what all has happened and asked Swamigal to lead him to sannyas. But the clairvoyant Swamiji thought that Narasimha Swamiji is going to be the person who is going to lead the whole world to the spiritual realm. So he said, no, I will give you Panchakshri mantra. Panchakshri mantra is nothing but Om Namah Shivaya. So you just keep chanting Om Namah Shivaya, the Lord said, the Swamigal said. Accordingly, he was chanting Panchakshri mantra, and Chandrasekhara Bharati Swamigal guided him to go to Ramana Maharishi. That's when Narasimha Swamiji came to Ramana Maharishi. So Ramana Maharishi told him to go and sit in the cave and meditate. So he was doing that for a few months. and he used to circumambulate the Tiruvannamalai hill, and he used to chant Akshara Manimala, which was authored by Ramana Maharishi, but nothing gave him any peace of mind. There was no change in his situation. So then he went to Ramana Maharishi and asked, I'm not still getting the peace of mind. So what should I do? Ramana Maharishi said, I am not your guru. Your guru is waiting for you in the north. You go towards north, Shri Sai Baba is your guru. But Narasimha Swamiji thought Shri Sai Baba attained Mahasamadhi in 1918. What difference he is going to make in my life? But still, he had no choice. With the blessings of Ramana Maharishi, he left the ashram. But before leaving the ashram, he did one significant work for this world. What was that? He wrote the book Self-Realization. This is a biography of Ramana Maharishi. This was the first book in English which was written by Pujyashri Narasimha Swamiji. Only because of this book, the whole world came to know about Ramana Maharishi. And while he was with Ramana Maharishi, Seshadri Swamigal used to visit Ramana Maharishi ashram. So Narasimha Swamiji, he collected all the details about Seshadri Swamigal. So before leaving Ramana Maharishi's ashram, Narasimha Swamiji came to know that the disciples of Seshadri Swamigal are wanting to write a biography of Seshadri Swamigal. So he gave all the notes he had prepared. So even today, if you take Seshadri Swamigal's biography, you can see that they would have thanked Narasimha Swamiji for all the contributions he has made for collecting the details about Seshadri Swamigal. Now all this is done. He came out of Tiruvannamalai. He didn't know where to go. While he was on the road, a lorry truck, right? It was passing by, and the truck driver asked, hey Swamiji, where do you want to go? Swamiji said, I don't know where to go. He said, okay, I'm going to Hubli. There is an ashram, which is the ashram of Siddharuda Swamigal, and we know that even the fierce animals would just come and sit next to him like cats and dogs. You know, he is a very great saint. If you wish, you can come and I can drop you close by the ashram. So Narasimha Swamiji just went with the truck driver. Narasimha Swamiji never begged for food. If anybody would give him food, he would eat. Otherwise, even for days, he would not eat. So the lorry driver got him some biscuits and tea. That's what he ate. And then he went to Siddharuda Swami ashram. In Siddharuda Swami ashram, he learned, he was already proficient in Sanskrit, but still he was able to read a lot of Vedantic topics. And the disciples of Siddharuda Swamiji did not like Narasimha Swamiji, because Siddharuda Swamiji was like, you know, he was giving so much importance to Narasimha Swamiji, so the others did not like that. They wanted to somehow chase Swamiji out of the ashram, but Siddharuda Swamiji never let that happen. But Siddharuda Swamiji attained Mahasamadhi, so Narasimha Swamiji thought, I cannot stay anymore in this ashram, so he came out of the ashram and then he went to Pandharpur. Pandharpur is known for devotion. If you go to Pandharpur, the fruit seller, even the vegetable seller would address the customer as Vittal. They'll say, hey Vittal, hey Vittal. For them, everything is Vittal. So Narasimha Swamiji liked that, the ambience of Pandharpur, because always there is bhajans and kirtans and people would dance and they would always change in his, you know, he did not get self-realized, right? So then somebody in Pandharpur told him, there is a great saint by name Bapu Mai. Why don't you go and talk to her? Bapu Mai is a lady Avaduta who used to just be on toned rags, so, and matted hair. So Narasimha Swamiji followed her and went behind her. She asked, why are you coming behind me? Swamiji said, I know you are a great saint. She said, oh no, I'm going to just the burial ground. Swamiji said, I'm not scared of burial ground because every day I sleep there. Okay? See, he had no home, right? So he would go to the burial ground, sleep there. Whenever it was biting cold, he would take the clothes that were put on the tombs of in the burial ground. He would cover himself and then put the cloth back there. That's how he was surviving. So he said, I'm not worried about burial ground, I can come. So he followed her and went to the burial ground. As soon as he went there, she asked him, are you hungry? He said yes, because he didn't eat for 3 days already. So at her command, somebody like a 5-star hotel chef brought a big platter with delicious dishes. And then it was given to Swamiji. Swamiji ate all of that. Then she said, okay, your hunger is satiated, now you can go. Then Swamiji said, no, I want to see God. She laughed out loud. She said, in the burial ground at 12 o'clock in the night, who will come with a platter of food other than Vittal? So Narasimha Swamiji wept. Oh, God came in human form and I did not recognize it. How sad it is. Then she said, yes, you have to evolve more. You have to start seeing God in everybody. There is Vittal in front of you, there is Vittal behind you, there is Vittal everywhere. Only if you start seeing Vittal everywhere and in everyone, you can recognize God when He comes in human form. So after that, she blessed him saying that you will get your Guru. Then from Pandharpur, he went to Bhetnarayan Maharaj. He was a contemporary saint of Shri Sai Baba and all the other saints here. He is known as a great Datta Avatara because when he was 9 years old, Dattatreya gave darshan to him. So he was a great Datta Avaduta and he built a big temple for Lord Dattatreya. So Narasimha Swamiji wanted to keep a test for this saint. So he thought in his mind, never ever any bird sat on my head. There are a lot of birds in this temple. If any bird would come and sit on my head, then I will accept that Lord Datta is present in this temple. And he just closed his eyes. Before he could start meditating, a bird came and it touched his head. So he thought, okay, I got my signal. Now, he wanted to speak in Effusum. Effusum means in parables. So Narasimha Swamiji asked Bhetnarayan Maharaj, I have seen many diamonds. Diamonds here, he means all these saints. I've seen many diamonds, but none of them satisfied me. Will I ever get a pure diamond, a taintless diamond in my life? Bhetnarayan Maharaj said, yes, you will get, but you have to go towards north. So with his blessings, he went to Saint Hazrat Babajan. She is an Afghan saint, settled in India. Then Tajuddin Baba's tomb. He went to many tombs, many mosques, churches, temples. Nothing gave him what he wanted. Then he went to the Saint Zebruna. This saint would sit on a heap of refuse. Refuse is the trash. But when you go next to him, you will never get that foul smell. So Pujyashri Narasimha Swamiji went to Zebruna. The moment Zebruna saw him, he said, I am not your Guru. Then Swamiji said, I have severe headaches. I don't know how to get rid of my headache. Then Zebruna made him sit on his lap and he licked his forehead. From then Narasimha Swamiji's headache was gone. Narasimha Swamiji, I told you, he never begs for food, right? What he would do if he doesn't get food? He will go to the river bank. They will wear dhoti, right? He will take his dhoti. He will take some sand from the river bed. He will wash the sand with water and eat the sand as food. You know, so because of this, he would suffer from cholera and he would go to the deep forest, sit and meditate. Sometimes the police will catch him thinking that he is a thief hiding somewhere in the woods. So he had to lead a very adventurous, very risky life. After meeting Saint Zebruna, from there he went to Meher Baba. He came to know about Avatar Meher Baba. Meher Baba was a great saint, but just the day before Swamiji went to Meher Baba took a vow of silence until his death. So he thought, what kind of help I can get from Meher Baba? But Meher Baba wrote to him in a slate and said, I am not your Guru. He stayed with Meher Baba for some time. There, some disciples of Upasani Baba came to Meher Baba. They said, why don't you go to Upasani Baba? From there, he went to Upasani Baba. Upasani Baba was under the direct command of Shri Sai Baba. So he was trained and guided by Sai Baba. So he went to Upasani Maharaj. And the moment Upasani Maharaj saw Narasimha Swamiji, Upasani Maharaj said, I know you would come. But Narasimha Swamiji thought, why is he saying that? because he has not told him that he's going to come. Because Upasani Maharaj there was a suit against Upasani Maharaj filed in 3 courts in Maharashtra. So we know that he was a very leading lawyer, isn't it? But he gave up all his titles, like all that, whatever they call it as Sanad. Sanad means like is the greatest honor given to a lawyer. He gave all the titles when he left his home as an ascetic, right? So now Upasani Baba said, you have to become my lawyer and you have to relieve me from this case. But Narasimha Swamiji said, no. See, for all this journey, it took 11 years. For 11 years, he has been in the quest of a guru. Okay, so you can understand how much thirst he had for a guru, right? So, because Upasani Baba forced him, he took up his case and he won the case. And then he stayed there for some time and he collected all the notes about Upasani Baba, and he wrote the first book on Upasani Baba that was called as The Sage of Sakori. Sakori is a place where Upasani Baba's ashram was there. So now, but still, there was no change in his mental attitude. He did not get self-realized, he did not get that peace of mind. He thought of leaving the ashram, but he knew Upasani Baba would not let him go. So what he did, in the month of August, on Shravan Paurnami day, that is the Rakhi Paurnami, right? On that day, early morning 4:30, he just got up and he walked out of the ashram. And he was walking towards the railway station. He was so dejected, depressed. He thought, in this life, I'm not going to find a guru. So let me go back to Chennai where my family is living. Let me go and live with my older son who's living in Chennai. That was his plan, and with a dejected mood, he was walking. That's when he was accosted by a Pathan. Pathan is nothing but the people, they are called as Fazun people. They are from Afghan, the Muslim Afghans. So a person who was very tall, gigantic, accosted Narasimha Swamiji and said, hey, Swamiji, where are you going? Then Swamiji said, I'm going to my native place, Chennai. So then he said, no, what were you in search of? He said, I was in search of a guru. I think I'm not going to get one, so I'm going back. Then the Pathan said, no, go to Shirdi. It is just 2 kilometers away from Sakori. Go there and visit the Samadhi of Shri Sai Baba. Narasimha Swamiji said, what is the use? I have seen so many Samadhis, so many living saints. I've been with them, I've served them. Nothing happened to me. So why should I go and see the Samadhi of a saint who took Mahasamadhi 18 years back? Because 1918, Shri Sai Baba attained Mahasamadhi. But 1936, Narasimha Swamiji is going to Shirdi. So he's saying, what is the use of going and visiting a Samadhi after 18 years? But the Pathan was not ready to leave. He said, no, you go, it will help you. So because this person was forcing him, he thought, okay, let me go to Shirdi and from there, I will catch a train to Chennai. That is when he went to Shri Sai Baba's Mahasamadhi. When he just went and stood in front of Baba's Samadhi, the moment he went and stood there, he got the peace of mind which he was longing and which he was craving for all these 11 years of his spiritual journey. And a ball like fire just arose from the Samadhi of Baba. It penetrated into every cell of Narasimha Swamiji. He got rejuvenated. He felt like something possessed him. From then, he became Sai Narasimha Swamiji. Sai Swarupi Narasimha Swamiji, because the form of Baba went into Narasimha Swamiji. So this happened when he was 63 years old. Narasimha Swamiji was 63 years old when this happened. From his 63rd year, for next 20 years, he spent all his life, day and night, only to propagate about Shri Sai Baba. He wrote hundreds of books on Sai Baba. He went and met all the devotees of Shri Sai Baba, took their experiences, recorded their experiences. From Shirdi and Ashtotram, whenever he saw people with any kind of suffering, whether it is physical suffering or mental suffering, he would give this to them and tell them to chant Baba's Ashtotram, and he will say, Shri Sai Baba Paripurna Siddhirastu. So he would bless everyone like that, and whoever got udhi from him, they all got cured. So that's how people started to get belief on Shri Sai Baba. So he is called as one of the greatest apostle, that is greatest angel or messenger of Shri Sai Baba. Got it? So because at all your homes you have Shri Sai Baba's picture, isn't it? You all worship Sai Baba, you all do puja to Sai Baba, but you all should also know because of whom we got to know Shri Sai Baba. That is the reason I wanted you all to come over here and know the biography of Narasimha Swamiji. So you all know because of Narasimha Swamiji, we got to know about Sai Baba, isn't it? Yeah, thank you all for coming. Thanks a lot. Sairam.
Kids that attended satsang were phenomenal, though they were of varying age groups, remained in rapt attention throughout. No one bothered to take a restroom or water break. They sat completely focused for all the 45 minutes. They were disciplined and well mannered. I would like to take this opportunity to convey my humble thanks to the parents of these kids for giving us a blessing to host the satsang of Swamiji. This event is the Sankalpa of Shri Sai Maharaj executed at his will through us. With tears of gratitude, bowing at the lotus feet of Shri Sai Maharaj and Pujyashri Narasimha Swamiji. Aum Sairam.